It is June right now, and let me take you back to June last year, because last year in June, I was driving around in a blue shirt with a grocery store logo on my chest, driving around to deliver groceries for about like 15 euros per hour or 14 euros, I don't really care. It was not much money. I was doing that every single morning, and then in the afternoon and like later in the day, I was working on my business. I was waking up actually at 4 a.m. You can look back on any of my other channels. I made a series about it. That's what I did last year till July. So I started in April, I think, early May, and then I ended in July, mid-July. Then I signed my first online client, and I just started living on a super low budget, so I didn't have to work my part-time job anymore because I despised it so much. And now, yesterday, I had I don't even count them anymore, but I had another call with a millionaire, and I have these every week at least once, and often multiple times per week. And then you might think, okay, how the fuck did you end up here? That's a very good question. And sometimes I ask myself that question because it's a very special place to be, and I don't try to glaze those people too much because millionaires are also just people. Even billionaires, we also work with billionaires. I don't speak to them directly, but I do the content for them, so I am like working for them in a way. How did I end up here? I just pursued something that I like to do. So basically what we do is we build organic YouTube channels, like organic personal brands for large entrepreneurs like Robert Kiyosaki, Ken McElroy. Those are the biggest guys that you probably know. We signed some NDAs with certain people, so I can't talk about everyone, but those are the two guys that you probably know, and we get millions of views on long form content per month for them. And I'm not the guy that set up this business in the first place. I'm working for someone that had the network with those people. His name is Joshua. I think you can look on my channel in like a week in advance. If you see this video and you scroll 1 week further, he will probably be in those videos because I'm going to live with him in a few days. He moved us all out, like the whole team. He moved us out to Colombia, Medellin, and we're going to live together in a huge mansion to grind out work. But it doesn't really matter. I'm working for him and he had the network, so that way I ended up working with those millionaires. Like I said, we make the YouTube videos, so the entrepreneur only jumps into a call once per week for an hour or 1.5 hours, and we have scripts prepared, and then he records the scripts, so he records the videos, then we send the videos to the edit team, we get a title, we get a thumbnail, we post it, and that way we get organic views. It's not rocket science, but you need to understand how to get views, of course, because you don't just get free views on YouTube. You have to work very hard for it, and you have to think about the packaging for every single video to hit the curiosity spot to actually get some views. Then you might ask me, you're having calls with millionaires and you're doing the content for millionaires. Does that mean that you're rich right now? No, far from it. I'm not rich at all, and I'm not trying to act like I'm rich. I might look like I'm rich because I'm living a cool lifestyle. And of course, I'm trying to show that as well because I think it's cool, but I will never say that I'm rich because I'm not right now. Let's say that you make 10K a month. I find it still quite cringe to say that you're rich. Yes, you're more wealthy than the normal guy, but I don't say, like, I think my father, my dad, is also super rich, but he doesn't make a lot of money. But he is super happy every day with what he does, even though he makes like 3K per month or something, I don't know, and he's super happy with it. So I'm like, okay, he is richer than me, even though I make more money, you know? So I will never say that I'm rich, but I do work to get more money, of course, because I want to be financial free and I want to support my parents financially, etc. So to go a little bit deeper into the way that I started working for those millionaires, because it might be interesting to share in this video. So in July last year, I signed my first client, school.com. You know that website that Alex Ramosi is a co-owner in. That website, I started running a community about making your first dollar online. That's what I've learned via like a webinar or whatever online. I was like, oh, I can teach this in a school community. I started building that. I built it up to like 140 members, like without any audience, just from grinding and doing free advertisement that's in other school communities, etc. And that way, another guy came to me and said, hey, you have 140 members. I'm struggling to get members. Can I pay you to help me to get members? And that's why I sold my first package. It was 700 euros for 8 weeks, I believe. And I just started living off that, like the super small amount of money. Of course, it's not like a medium wage or anything, super low amount of money, but I was like, yes, enough. I can pay my food, and I lived with my parents at the time. I don't anymore, but I lived at the time. It was enough to just live, to pay all the bills and to just continue living without working a job. So that's what I did, but eventually I quit. Like I stopped doing that for people because I didn't enjoy it. And that same guy, he also had a YouTube channel. His name is Harvey. You can scroll back like 4 weeks ago. I was with him in Bali. Actually, we both flew out to Bali and we met up there and we hang out. And now he's back to New Zealand and I flew to Colombia. Doesn't really matter. But he runs a football business and he also had a YouTube channel attached to that business. And I was like, hey, I don't really care anymore about those school funnels, etc. It's kind of boring to me. So let me do your YouTube. I just started doing that. His videos started overperforming and it went better. Another guy came to me via Instagram to say like, hey, I see that you're building YouTube channels. We want to build our YouTube channel. It was a Dutch e-commerce client. He he hired me for that. So then I had my first 2 jobs as a YouTube consultant, got better at growing YouTube channels. And in the same time, like in May last year, I was already watching the videos from Josh, that guy that I will meet up with in a week. I started commenting under his videos because he was talking about the lifestyle. He was super humble, but he was living a very luxurious lifestyle with those millionaire mentors that he had. Like, if you want to know his story, you can look on his channel. But he had all those millionaires around him. He flew out for his first ever flight and he got his tattoo from the logo of that guy. He tattooed it on his leg, and that way he impressed him, and he just kind of stalked him legally to get a job with him, and that way he got into that circle, and that millionaire introduced Josh, like also a 22-year-old guy, to other millionaires, and now that way he started doing those YouTube channels. And I saw Josh on YouTube with his videos talking about it like in a super raw, authentic way. He was not selling anything at all, he was just documenting, and I was like, hey, that's super cool. I also have an interest in YouTube, but I don't really know what you're doing, so I just started watching his videos because he was living the lifestyle that I wanted to live. Well, step by step, video by video, I started commenting, and eventually he started replying to my comments. Like, I tried to be funny a little bit, relatable inside jokes, because you watch for weeks and weeks and then eventually some months, and you learn some inside jokes in those videos. And eventually he was talking about hiring some people for his business, and I was like, hey, that might be interesting. I asked him for his Instagram, he gave me his Instagram. Then on Instagram I had to follow up, because busy guys, like wealthy guys, are super busy. So I had to follow up, and eventually I got his WhatsApp, but then again I had to follow up because he was not replying, follow up, and eventually he called me and he said, hey, I am actually at the point in my business right now that I need someone to do creativity for me. Can I hire you? Can I give you, I think at the time it was 2,000 euros per month, and then it got more, and now it's June, but that was in February. Yeah, it was February, I believe, that he did that. That way I got hired by him, but it's not an overnight thing. I started commenting in May last year, so that's a year and a month ago, till like September, I guess, before I actually got into a WhatsApp group. And then in February he started paying me. From September till February I was already in a group chat with him, and he was just showing something that he is making, and he was asking us some questions. Me and another guy that's also flying out to Colombia in a few days. I'm already here, but those guys are coming in a few days. We're both just dropped in that group chat, and Josh was just spitting game about YouTube, trying to teach it to us. And then when he needed someone to help with his business, he hired the both of us, and now we are important players in his business, which is super fun. But it's not an overnight thing. I don't regret keeping the part-time job at all, because I worked from like beginning of May till end of July or mid-July, and I kept the job. It was a part-time job, so I could just choose to work or not work, and I kept the job till December. It was only December that I quit because of the tax benefits for my business. If I didn't have like a part-time job and only my entrepreneur business, blah blah, that I set up in the Chamber of Commerce, if I only had that business and not a part-time job, I would have tax benefits. So my mom said, hey, you might want to quit now in December before the new year starts, so you have those benefits. And I was not going to work anymore anyway because I trusted myself. I was really ready to live on like 100 euros per month to make it work, because I didn't want to work a part-time job anymore. That's how much I despised it. That's kind of my story, how I went from a $15, 14 euros per hour delivery guy to calls with millionaires quite frequently, and literally just about to do Robert Kiyosaki, his short for his YouTube channel. I'm in his YouTube channel, I can access all the content. We recently got a video for him with 200,000 views. It feels kind of surreal every now and then, but I'm trying to not glaze to those people too much, because they're also just people. But yeah, I do respect them a lot because they achieved something in life that I didn't yet. So always being humble, trying to learn, but try to also see them as normal people and not glaze them too much. So that's my story. Don't have anything to show you. You can subscribe if you want to follow my journey and see what the fuck I'm going to do here in Colombia with the boys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.